the Venus-Jupiter square that starts, well, it's happening now, and then it hits exact on the 11th. And then after that, on the 12th, Mercury goes into Gemini, and Pluto clicks back into Capricorn. And it looks like I'm the only astrologer who will more celebrate the fact that it's a square between Venus and Jupiter, even though Jupiter is grooving in the sign of Venus. Now, just because it is grooving in the sign of Venus, which is Taurus, it's kind of blowing up the pleasure zone, and our financing maybe in question. Either way, it's like, well, what are you going to do with it all, or how are you going to get it back, kind of a thing. Always that's going right. But see, with this aspect with, well, Venus and Leo, makes me think, like of entertainment. People with Venus and Leo, they really love their entertainment. They go to shows and they're really satisfied, and they might be an entertainer themselves somehow. They're sparkling. Venus and Leo, fire. Venus and fire, talk about I'm your Venus, I'm your fire, your desire. They are all about the show and the glamour, so they love their shows, particularly the Leo. Point being, I see an extravagance could be going on, like, the downside, okay, the dangers, where, let's talk about the 80% of the population who may have gone for they're drinking the Kool-Aid, and they live in an alternate reality. Anything goes, they can say anything, and that's the truth for them. They're like little kids just imagining. It's like too much imagination, because it's like, well, what about the laws of physics and what we already known for ever? Why it's not going to change, that 1 + 2 is 3. Okay, so then, but it will with the 80% of people in the global population who is living, maybe struggling with some change, like changes that need to go down, which some, I don't know why I've gotten into this horrific subject matter, but I'm pointing at the narcissistic population. I'm just, scientifically, we could just look at it, okay, this is spammed up, because why? Well, they're raised on the mind only. They are programmed to think the mind is more real than reality, and so the truth is very vague there as far as what's working. Money is a big cover-up, right? And an excuse. Boy, minute 309, can we just take a little breath a minute and breathe some good-ass prana? I'm talking about Venus being in Leo. Okay, it's good entertainment, right? Yes, I have it coming up. It's going to trine my ascendant. At this point, it's like I would love it with Mars on my in my 5th house conjunct my part of fortune. It's kind of a hyperactive sensation of. But for everybody, this is humanity. Mars going through the 5th house of romance and entertainment and stuff like that. The heart matters, the stuff that we celebrate. Celebration time. Wouldn't you love to share? Yes. Who are you going to share it with? Certainly not the people that whatever. People are doing what they must do, and I am too. Whew, I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to go back and think, okay, no, that was probably the best part of the video. Moving on to another minute that's hopefully not wasting anybody's time, and don't be wasting your own time, babes. The sun in Gemini right now, moving into like 18 or 19, 20 degrees, with Mercury going into Gemini. Boy, this is going to release a lot better communications. I don't know about you, but me, I'm going to turn into an animated cartoon character. You're just not going to get enough of all of the different expressions that come across my face, and how that is the truth. Why? Trines all my planets in Libra, and that's the early degree Gemini, and Gemini is very expressive, and it happens to go right through my third house of Gemini. See, I call myself humanity because I have this, well, let alone my Aquarius moon trying the hell out of my 369. We have, let me talk about myself a little bit. We have the Aries rising. I am, and that's all. What do you mean? I said I am, and that is all. All possibility ever. That is humanity. Did you forget? Oh, well, you forgot to put the I there. I, humanity. I am. It could happen, babes. It could happen. Um, it is happening. It's happening whether we know it, like it or not. I was just contemplating. It's like, you know what? You know why I um trap myself in a box and anesthetize a little bit and just go into trance is because the potential, the true potential of humankind, what we are, what we really are, is too great, way too great. It's just it's a zing. I mean, some people may hit it in a lifetime and make the news and get disenfranchised. Others just blow up and pop like they grow up and pop like bubbles and never be seen again. Seen again. Most all are like that, except for who? Well, man, can you imagine the bamboozlement that is going on about who did what when? Sheer bamboozlement across the board. Does that matter? It sure doesn't. As far as the history of things, I mean, what are you doing now? Be like a fire. Well, talk about Venus and Leo. Yes, we're just picking on those planets, but there's other things happening. You know, I'm getting a very intuitive look into it, you know, talking about how Pluto going back into Capricorn, you can see people getting sucked in to the old. See, Capricorn is Saturn ruled, and it happens to, I mean, the big book of Capricorn, we have the rulership of, it's just, of, I want to just point at old people right away. Old people, you know, that stuffiness that you get, that they're just trained a certain way that it's like, you know, that's not going to work, and especially if you try to work it on children, you know, that's abuse. Okay. Abuse. Really. Some things need to change, and can they ever? Oh, man, you know, the royal family, do they ever die out? I mean, it's not a bad thing, really. We need change. We need change. That's what Aquarius, well, yeah, of course, Aquarius says, you know, that's the big game changer, but after Capricorn, you know, that's when Capricorn tips over and says, God, I can't hold this shit anymore. You know, it's like, you're really, you know, some of those instructions suck. Can you just let him go? Because that's where, when Capricorn lets go, it goes into Aquarius, where Aquarius says, fuck the rules. And by the way, we've always been able to be free like this, and just put more energy behind it, and well, tap the real energy behind it. And watch how easy it is to conduct. I was just imagining, like, this morning, of how there's something so much deeper going on with regards to creation of creation, and particularly how humanity and mankind is industrializing creation, I guess, and like synthesizing things, like now how, you know, how that robots are building robots. You can talk to some people, old school, that say, nah, that's not possible. It's like, no, that's highly possible. And that's how it's happening. They don't have people sitting building these freaking phones at a table in China. No, they have maybe they did that to construct the robots that would help do that in certain places. It's just like you know, and we don't know where it's really happening. We don't know what's going on. You know, we are so kept. If you just imagine how, like, well, we can only get around on a horse and a boat, and it's a few people that dare, or maybe one, and they get caught and they tell a story, or they get lost forever. You know, it's like, what goes on there? But whatever it is, it's just a very highly controlled maze, right? And then rumor has it, it's like, well, you get into these inhospitable conditions. They're just ice sheets, and oh, guaranteed. I already know for sure. I mean, that's just, most people don't know that they can know, because they don't know that how they don't know. And if they get over how that they don't know, and how that they can know, That just open up that can of worms of all possibility and never live in denial. It's a bad practice. Hope this is, I'm just ready to entertain whatever, as far as the Venus and Leo moving into, but there's a lot of, we don't talk about Chiron and stuff like that and what Venus is really up to. I was getting a real vision of it, taking in consideration what we've been through all year and then how it's like this break, like, yay, Venus and Leo square Jupiter. She is going to wake up and say, excuse me, kabloop de blop, about um, imbalances of which that if we straighten out, the abundance will be better and we would be actually considered richer in quality, as literally. We will get healthy and we will get less less inefficient. We're going to have more fun, basically. It's all about having fun. And, existence itself is just nothing but a huge, the word organism.